recording, Tom.
Okay, good evening, Tommy McGovern. Mr. Mayor, I understand that you said you were police for 43 years? Answer the question then. Can we do anything about stop signs for bicycles?
You mean to put up stop signs for bicycles?
Right, on every goddamn corner you can find.
No, there's no swearing in this house.
Sorry, I didn't, but that's the way it's getting.
You retract your remarks, I presume?
That's getting to some of these streets here. I don't think anybody sees them. Either put bigger ones or.
Well, they know they're present. The highway code states that the stop sign that is there has to be bicycle has to.
Well, how come we're responsible if we hit a bicycle go through a stop sign?
Who?
How come the car is responsible for the accident when the bicycle goes through a stop sign?
No, it isn't. No.
Well, you want to check on that one?
I'll check on it.
Because I know.
No, the bicycle has to respect the stop sign.
Well, I would be
If he
putting.
comes through the stop sign and I have the right of way to go, and he runs into the side of me, it's his.
Well, the way things are going, we're the town of bicycles, so we'd be doing something about it.
Yeah. Okay, Tommy.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Megan Celine, resident Rue de Bonneville. Perhaps it's already on the agenda, and so I excuse and I'll just wait for the portion of the agenda where my question comes from. The piece of property that is behind the Anglican Church, St. Paul's Anglican Church, what is the status of that particular dossier at this point?
It's the same status as it was before. There's no project that has been tabled.
Okay.
They came back, went to see citizens that were in the zone that could vote on it, and that is where we stand now. It's still zoned the way it was.
Okay, but is there a vote coming? It's up to the residents in that area to ask for a vote?
No. They have to present a project. The project has to be passed by the first project has to go through. After that, it goes through the referendum process and that and whatever. So it's the same process for any change of zoning in any town.
Okay, so at this point, there is no project that has been submitted?
No project has been taken.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Stuart Bacon from Victoria Street, and I'll be very brief, Shelley. Two things. First, I spoke about this probably a year and a half ago, and Patrick, you were supposed to get back to us on the end of the bike lane on Victoria, where it kind of just evaporates, just past Maple. Now, as Tommy points out, there's many cyclists. And, you're kind of weaving in the traffic and people are going in all kinds of different directions. I suggest we do something there. I'm not sure what, but...
Now that is at the end of the bicycle path
where those markers end, and you're on the wrong side of the street if you're going towards Lakeside.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah. So people have to weave through the traffic. And
we're coming up with changing that. We're putting in, of course, the sidewalks will be done on Victoria Street, hopefully. And also we're coming up with a plan that we've already looked at to put the bicycle lanes on both sides of the road. Not the other one will be abolished because to me it's dangerous.
That's fine. I'm just saying that it's more and more dangerous because there's more and more people.
It's fine this year.
Yeah. Okay.
Waiting for grants.
Okay. Sorry, that was just based on the last commentary from Tommy. But I just want to comment on the housing process and congratulate everybody because I think it's the first time we've started to take a holistic view of housing in the town. And I totally agree with the two groups that were chosen. I think there's a subset of the older group, which are those people who may not be able to live on their own, but could easily live in another manoir. So I think we should put that on our list of things as something to worry about. And the other group is the group below the young families, who are our unfortunate neighbors. And we really need to do something about housing for them. So I know there's land across the street for sale. My proposal to the town is that the town should buy that. Even if it takes a little while to figure out exactly what to do, I think it's a way to guarantee the options that the town could use in the future, either for another foyer or lower cost housing, or even for housing for the two groups that have been identified. So my recommendation to the town, and I would fully support the town acquiring that land and hedging the bets that we are going to take. So thank you.
Thank you, Stuart. I think we're both, we're on the same wavelength as what you are.
And you have a surplus too.
Megan Celine, resident Rue de Bonneville. The woman behind me was very kind to let me go ahead of her, simply because I'd like to comment on what you had just said with regards to housing for people of a certain age, of which I am one of. And yes, there is a piece of property that's across the road. It's going to cost the town to purchase it. But is there not a municipal piece of land? I believe it's Highland. It's Kennedy.
Kennedy.
Yeah. So I drove up there, and there's this ginormous piece of land behind there, and the municipality owns it. So wouldn't it simply be a question? I don't know whether it's zoned to accommodate like another manoir.
No, I don't believe it's zoned for that, but a change of zoning could happen there, yes.
Yeah, so my suggestion is using that piece of property because the town owns it. You donate it to someone who is willing to develop it. And in my thoughts, there's the extra manoir, and in the big picture, an extra manoir generates jobs. And
Find the people to work, yes.
yeah, but there's a very nice quality of life here.
Oh, yeah.
And if you look at the presentation that you did, that the people that could afford, housing in this particular area are people of a certain salary, and a nurse, préposé, a doctor on call, the person that's running the residence. They're going to be making a decent wage.
Right. No, that's true. The land there is 11 acres.
Yeah.
Probably 40% is wetlands. We can't do anything with it. There's a brook that runs through it, an important brook.
Mm-hmm.
And but the upper half towards Hemlock is very dry. This could be some. We bought it to look for water.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, we don't know water there. So, but we still own the land. Yes, it was acquired back in 2015 to look for water, and we still own it. We decided to keep it.
And it's still available.
Oh, it's available.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
no. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Brenda Stone. First, I'd like to thank the council for that good planning meeting that we had on housing. I really enjoyed that and I learned a lot. Thank you. Secondly, in addressing housing, everything that we're looking at, perhaps we could consider putting in a few small homes for seniors. I say that because as it happens, my mother owns a small home and many people stop and ask to see inside it because she's able to care for it. It's financially low maintenance, and so pension and all that stuff, she's in a secure place financially. So I suggest perhaps we could take a little peek into doing something like that. They're not very expensive to put up. People are able to maintain them very well because they're not ginormous. I did some reading about the PPC Moi that we did on Knowlton Road that it's, I don't know what the hell it is. I don't know what's going on there, but you're telling me that it's suspended. It's suspended. So being the old-fashioned Girl Guide leader, I pulled out the book and I found out that a PPC1 is a legal entity, which I'm sure you know, Mr. Falco, and this one has a date from May 6 to June 19, because it's a legal thing, document, viable entity for 45 days. It does not remain open for as long as a promoter requires. It's good only for 45 days. So because of that, I would like to know if the town has canceled the project, respecting the 45 days, or if you have chosen to open the register. And of course, I have so many people questioning me all the time about what date you would do that.
I'll leave, hold on, they get everything so to answer them.
Yes. Hello?
I'm going to learn some more.
Hello?
There you go.
This is regarding the PPCY that was on Knowlton Road around, I forget the address, but halfway between the IGA back towards the downtown.
Yes.
And we adopted the second project about on April 2nd council meeting. And we announced at the last council meeting that there was going to be a register held because enough signatures were received to send it to a register. And the next day, I heard from the promoter that he wanted to take a break and reevaluate whether he wanted to go ahead with the register or do a different project that was conforming or sell the land or whatever he wants to do. So we're still waiting on his reply. That's why there was no public notice about a register. That's why we announced in our info letter that there was not going to be a register for those who had heard it here last month. Regarding your 45 days, I don't think it's as clear as that. I think it's 45 days to make the announcement of holding the register. And in any case, even if there was a 5-day limit and the promoter wanted to go ahead, we would just re-adopt the second project of the PPC1. But the main answer to your question is that the promoter will, in fairly short order, have to decide whether he does want to go to the register or whether he wants to withdraw his project. And if he does, there'll be a resolution from council announcing officially that the project is over.
So the June 19, May 6 to June 19, that still holds? Is that right?
I'm not really sure what you're referring to with that.
Well, May 6 was when we started. And then we took all the information to the town. And if I'm working with 45 days, that takes me to June 19. And I don't understand how the promoter can hold something up when a PPC1 only has a life of 45 days. I'm not clear on that,
What I'm
sir.
telling you that I don't think that's strictly speaking correct, that it only has a life of 45 days. But yes, I take your point that we're not going to wait for 6 months or 12 months for the promoter to decide what he wants to do. The council accepted for the PPC1 to go ahead. It's gone ahead to the step where it's at, and the promoter will have to decide in short order whether he wants to continue to the register or whether he doesn't. If he doesn't, the council will officially put an end to it. So it's not going to drag on much longer, and certainly you'll know before the next council meeting whether there'll be a register, because you'll see a public notice, or that the council is going to put an end to it, because the council has told us, the promoter has told us to put an end to it.
Okay, so therefore, it's the promoter that has the power and not so much the PPC1, is that what you're saying? He has the ability?
The PPC is a thing, so it doesn't have any power in and of itself. The council allowed the PPC to go ahead 2 months ago. By allowing it to go ahead, they accepted that it would go through the legal steps up to and including a register. So if the promoter says, I want to go ahead with the register, then we'll go ahead with the register. Simple as that.
And you have a deadline for him? I guess that's where I'm trying to
Well,
go.
I think I've said a couple times already,
I'm
that's
not
going to
getting
happen
it.
very quickly, because basically the decision has to be made. Either he goes to the register or he doesn't. So, like I said, it's not going to drag on.
Okay, that's good, because the area that did all the voting, they're anxious to know what the heck is going on.
Fair enough, but not a single one of them has called me.
I can't help that, sir. Would you like to have coffee at my house and answer the phone? Thank you.
Bonsoir.
Claude Alès, rue Lansdowne. Je me demandais si la ville considérait peut-être acheter une partie de la propriété Coder qui est maintenant à vendre pour faire un stationnement public pour le sentier sur Victoria.
Mais, oui, le terrain, c'est à vendre, les deux parties.
Oui.
Et nous, la ville, a une loi de préemption sur le stationnement, sur la partie, sur le côté du sentier. Alors, on attend toujours pour voir, avant d'exécuter nos droits, puis on avait le droit de préemption sur cette partie-là.
Pouvez-vous m'expliquer qu'est-ce que c'est un droit de préemption?
C'est une préemption que nous, on avait 16, 17 propriétés, terrains ou bâtiments, qu'on a passé une résolution comme quoi la préemption, après que, exemple, il y a quand un terrain s'est mis à vendre, on attend toujours pour voir s'il y a quelqu'un qui va donner un prix sur ça, puis on peut avoir ces 60 jours pour matcher cette prix-là. C'est le droit de préemption.
OK.
C'est le droit de préemption.
Donc, vous attendez que quelqu'un fasse une offre d'achat, puis ensuite vous allez mettre votre offre?
On garde toujours le droit.
OK.
On peut décider non ou on peut décider oui. Mais on avait 60 jours après qu'un prix officiel s'est déposé avec une courtier immobilier.
Donc, l'idée du stationnement est à suivre.
Oui, nous, ça va rester fermé parce que c'est à vendre.
Oui.
C'est exactement pour ça que c'est fermé pour le moment.
Merci.
Répétez votre nom, famille.
Claude Lainès. Laines, c'est ça.
Yes, good evening. Alicia Southall from Knowlton. Just a quick question, which ties into some of the points that neighbors and fellow citizens made here earlier this evening. In March 2024, the CCU minutes, the Comité consultatif d'urbanisme, there was a reference to membres sont d'avis qu'il faudrait définir ce qu'est réellement un logement abordable. Cela permettrait de mieux guider les promoteurs par la suite, which, I think would be excellent because affordable housing is a bit like densification and urbanization. It's more of a concept than a word that's clearly defined and with a sort of well-articulated definition that everybody shares. So I was just wondering what progress had been made by the CCU in that connection and if there was anything to report on that at this point.
Je laisse la parole à président du CCU, Louis Paris.
Merci.
Would you like me to answer in English?
Whatever.
So basically, it was a recommendation. As you know, the CCU makes recommendations or suggestions to the council.
Yeah, that's true.
So we do make recommendations to the council or suggestions. So the topic was also brought up during the housing presentation. We don't have a firm definition, and the council has not spent time or statute on that. But it will be part of when we look at the urbanism plan and so on. Can we even define it, or do we stay with the federally or provincially defined terms as to affordable housing, which is considered a ratio of a maximum amount of your ratio for how much you spend for your lodging. So that definition exists. I don't think Town of Lake will come up with its own, but we will link those definitions or concepts, more concepts, in the type of logement that we want to see built in the downtown.
So there's more to follow in this, in other words.
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
Thank you very much.